Welcome back to Clean Fair Magic. The most magical time of the year is just around the corner. It's time to deck the halls, sign your Christmas cards, and bust out your snow-covered lands.
If you have a Magic the Gathering fan on your gift list, you might be kind of wondering, what should you get them? Well, fret not, because we have put together a list of perfect gifts that would be loved by a Magic the Gathering player.
Yeah, it's important to note that we are not sponsored by any of these brands, nor are we being paid by any company to make this list. This is really just our own personal preference from our own experiences and our own recommendations.
We'll go from kind of a more budget-worthy stuff to some splurge gifts. I think that any of these can definitely be a winner, so let's dive into it. The first thing that we have on our list is dice. These are the essentials for any Magic the Gathering players. Dice can be used to track life points, counters, and honestly various abilities that happen during the game. You can go with the classic 6-sided dice block. You can kind of see that here. Or you can go with, honestly, upgrade to a specialized dice like spin downs.
Yeah, these variety dice here. And really, for a card game, you'd probably be surprised how much Magic the Gathering players use dice. I think these ones were pretty cheap, a pretty basic set. You can find these at any local game store. Any game store really has dice. Dice are so common. But you can also find some really cool, really fancy dice if you really want to gift somebody
some nice looking dice.
For a lot of people who play tabletop games, card games, role-play games, whatever, a fancy set of dice is like giving somebody a set of jewelry. It is something that they will treasure and put in special boxes and cherish. The next gift that is great for any card player really is going to be these card sleeves. Magic the Gathering cards and other collectible cards can get pretty expensive, and they want to protect them with something special. Our playgroup,
we love Dragon Shield.
We prefer Dragon Shield. That is the brand we would recommend. We've never really had any issues with them. Again, not sponsored by Dragon Shield. If you have a doubt, ask the collector in your life which sleeves they prefer.
Another thing that I like about, and I don't know if other brands do this or not, but the Dragon Shield in particular that I know of do customized card sleeves. So I don't know if you can see that. It says Friendos the Gathering, so you can.
That's kind of an inside joke for our play group. So is the drawing.
Yeah, so is the drawing.
So if something, these ones are kind of more of I don't actually even know if I can show these on YouTube since we're not sponsored by them.
Yeah.
These are kind of a cooler Christmas style dragon sleeve. Christmas Dragon 2022 if you're wondering what these ones are.
So they have a lot of great options. They have a ton of colors.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different colored sleeves out there, so you can kind of go off of maybe what their favorite color is, or you can do the custom ones.
Make it a little bit more personalized.
Yeah, to make it personal.
And sleeves, again, these can go from cheap. I think these ones were a little bit more expensive because they're kind of a special printing. But most sleeves you can get for anywhere from $8 to $12 for a decent.
Yeah, and then for custom ones, I think they're $25.
Yeah, they can get a little bit more expensive.
But it makes sense because they're custom and it's unique with each order. So.
Yeah, but card sleeves are always great. Nobody is going to complain if they get card sleeves.
Yes. The next item on our list are going to be Playmats. They're one of those gifts that many players don't realize they need until they have one. Playmats help protect cards and also make gameplay smoother. Plus they come in some really fun designs. Right? I got this. This one was actually a gift to us from Benton.
These were actually Christmas gifts last year, and we've used them a ton this year. We use them every time we record.
Well, we didn't have Playmats before, and now that we have had Playmats, we really don't want to go back.
It makes a world of a difference, yeah.
They have official MTG artwork on some of them that they sell, But there's also like something out there for everybody. There's, I believe, even custom ones, but I haven't had any personal experience with that, so.
Yeah, Playmats is something, we don't really have a brand specific that we would recommend. Really just what you want to get is just make sure it's kind of this nicer kind of fabric on top. And if it has kind of a grip underneath, I've even seen people say just like mouse pads. Like if you have like a big mouse pad, that's kind of the texture and the feel you're going for. And really with Playmats, you know, again, I always try to recommend just going to a local game store. I'm sure you can get custom ones online, and you could probably find some great deals online for some really cool looking Playmats right now. But really, I just recommend going to your local game store, and you'll probably find some great deals for some really cool Playmats. Yeah. The next gift that we want to recommend are these Precon or pre-constructed decks. Now these ones are from the most recent sets, so they might be a little bit more expensive. But you can find some pretty cheap Precons, again, just at your local game store or online.
The great thing too about Precons, right, is it's a complete, right, it's a pre-constructed deck. So if you have somebody that like has expressed interest about getting into Magic the Gathering, but they have no idea where to start, a Precon would be a great way to introduce them to the game because they don't have to do all the deck building, they have one right at their fingertips ready to go.
Yeah, Precons are going to be a little bit more expensive than things like card sleeves or maybe even
dice.
Yeah, dice. But, you know, some of these they only cost about $30 to $50. If you have a little bit more of a budget and you really want to give somebody something that they'll enjoy and really help them start playing or even continue playing Magic the Gathering, these pre-constructed decks are the ways to go.
The next item on our list, it has a little bit of a caveat with it, I will say that. They're going to be like play boosters. So if you have somebody in your life that like really loves just opening these up and just, it's kind of like that luck of the draw, right? You don't buy play boosters to get specific cards. You get it to just have the opening experience and maybe get some awesome pulls, right?
Yeah,
once in a while, I feel like, you know.
It is a satisfying experience.
Yes.
As somebody who recently opened up a whole bunch of these packs, it can be a lot of fun and it can be pretty satisfying. The reason there's a caveat to this is because it is random. You don't really know what it is you're buying, and a lot of the times the value you put into purchasing these booster packs, you don't get it returned in the value of the cards in the booster pack.
But if there's somebody that like they really love opening up play boosters, then ask them, what set do you like, right? Because so this one's like, for example, the Bloomburrow set. This was actually gifted to us, and it was just so fun to open up. Like we really enjoyed it, and we loved the Bloomburrow set. There was a bunch of cute little animals. Like it was just more for like the experience of it. But there are certain sets that some people like more than others.
Yeah,
so,
they can get a little bit more pricey depending on the set.
Yes.
If it's kind of an older one and they're a little bit more collectible, they may be
play
kind of
boosters
expensive.
versus even collector boosters, they're in two different price ranges.
Yeah, maybe do a little bit more research if you're thinking of play boosters. We also have, you know, these big bundles you can buy. These are more expensive. These are
by far.
Yes, this costs us about $120, $125. This I would not recommend getting for a single person, but if you have, you know, some children or some nieces and nephews,
even a group of friends that like love playing Magic the Gathering together, sometimes just like getting this and being like, hey, everybody gets this many boosters, right?
Yeah.
It can kind of make it a little bit more worth it.
You definitely gotta splurge a little bit more for something like this. They are more expensive. Again, you can probably find some cheaper ones depending on the set. This one came with 36 boosters in it. And again, maybe if you have somebody who just really loves opening boosters, maybe it's fine to get them one of these for Christmas. But really, I would recommend this more for either a friend group or multiple people.
Yeah.
Alright, the next gift that we're going to recommend can be a little bit taboo in some situations, but it is just a gift card. I mean, it's really the simplest thing that you can give somebody. They're not quite sure exactly what they might want.
And the thing is they have a lot of, like, there's a lot of options for gift cards, so it could be like Amazon, or even, I think TCG Player does gift cards where you can buy singles, stuff like that there. Honestly, it's a safe gift, but something that I definitely wanted to bring up, because if you're still not sure what to get them, then, just, they can order it and with your gift card, which makes kind of that a little bit easier and simpler.
Yeah, and really, if you want it to be, a gift card that is specifically for them to go get games or go get, Magic the Gathering cards or things like that, go shop local. Go support your local businesses. Go get, my birthday was recent, and I got a gift card to a local game store. And that, to me, honestly, has more value than just a, $25 Amazon gift card.
Yeah.
If you really want to make sure that it is something that, will go towards either a fun game or really anything like that, I would just recommend shopping local.
Yeah.
Find a local game store and go there and help support the community.
And local game stores too, they're really good at helping, they can be really good at helping out, even finding a gift that you want. So even if you go in there going with the mindset of I'm just gonna go get a gift card, sometimes they can lead you in the correct direction of oh well, this is really good, try this. They can kind of give you some suggestions based off of kind of the information that you give them. So sometimes just having that talk in person can help you figure out too if you wanted to get a little other gift along with the gift card.
Yeah, depending on your local game store,
Yeah.
the owners might be over anxious to share the information, the wealth of information that they have about the products they have in store.
We've had long conversations at our local game store. They're all the ones.
We love it, don't we?
Yeah, they're great.
We love it, but sometimes it's oh man, I gotta get to work in half an hour.
The next item on our list are going to be deck boxes, and they're pretty self-explanatory. They store decks. So with these, there are different types, and they have a pretty varied price range. There's more expensive ones, and then there's really cheap ones. So this one is an example of kind of a cheaper one, right? It's kind of a little bit more flimsy. You can kind of push on it a little bit, but it's great for cheaper decks, and just people just wanting to store their commander deck or even just another format deck in this box. Then we have kind of more of the expensive ones. So behind us you can kind of see we've got two of them. So these are deck box holders, and they actually hold up to 4. So that's another reason why it was more expensive, but they're a little bit more heavy duty, right? If you're traveling, these aren't going to bust, break, and fold, right? This one might. So just something to kind of think about if you want to get them in a nicer deck box or something that's functional.
Yeah, deck boxes are a little bit more difficult to, pinpoint and really say that this deck box is the one you guys should go for, because there are so many. Really, if you go online, you can find just tons on Amazon for super cheap that are kind of these plasticky ones. You can kind of find these nicer ones, like the ones we have. You can even go to a local game store, and they will have,
great options.
Yeah, they'll have, every local game store we go to has probably 4 or 5 different brands selling deck boxes.
Another thing to kind of watch out for, just in case, some deck boxes kind of fit more of a standard deck in comparison to a commander deck. So commander decks are bigger.
So commander decks are 100 cards, standard decks are 60 cards. So there are 2 different deck box sizes specifically for that. This one
so
is,
you kind of see the
kind of skinnier
thickness of them.
Yeah, they're a little bit skinnier. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right deck box for whatever deck, your card collector is really building around.
I would say too, if you don't know, feel free to just ask them, right? Be what format do you like to play? And if they say commander, then I would say look into a commander deck box, right? Something that can fit up to 100 cards and sleeved cards. Mm-hmm. That's another important thing to watch out for. Or if they're like, oh, I love standard, for example, then look for a smaller deck box. Just so that way there's not, you don't want a ton of like wiggle room, but you don't want it so that you're shoving cards in either.
And really regardless, with deck boxes, even if it's not quite the right size, a lot of people use deck boxes just to hold their collection of cards anyways.
Yeah.
So you might not want, a fancier, more expensive one if it's just to hold a collection. But for kind of these cheaper plastic ones, if you get, a few of these, your card collector will find something to do with them.
Yeah.
Alright, the next gift we are going to recommend is a card organizer. Now, similar to deck boxes, there are quite a few varieties, types, sizes, there's a lot on the market, and really it's hard for us to say an exact brand or company that we would recommend for this. But the importance of having a card organizer cannot be overstated. I'm going to show you guys our terrible
collection?
Yeah. This is what we use to organize our cards currently. I have a bunch of those, cheaper deck boxes like we talked about that I keep all of our cards in. It's kind of a mess.
And we put it in a taken out
Yeah,
drawer.
this is like a cheap plastic drawer. We've removed it from the actual drawer. This is our collection.
It's not our collection.
We really need a better organizer.
We can even see there's
We have
some
loose
that are
cards in
getting
here, yeah.
a little bit
Just to
bent.
let you know, how important getting a card organizer is. It also really helps for, collectors, especially with Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, any card game really that's collectible.
Yeah.
You want to keep track of what cards you do own, which cards you don't own, and what cards you have multiple copies of.
And an organizer will definitely help with that. I would say the big thing is with organizers, I would say there's some really good potential functional ones that work out there. Or you can even, ours isn't perfect, but it is somewhat functional. So if you're like, hey, I don't really have the money to buy this really big organizer, you can even buy the super cheap little deck boxes and kind of makeshift your own. Probably not in a little plastic drawer, but it's functional, but
it's something, again, that you'll probably want to ask the person that you're getting it for first to see if they already have their organization system. If they have a photo book where they put all of their cards into and that's what they use to collect, you probably don't want to get them a bunch of little plastic containers to put their cards in, just because it won't be synergistic with their current system that they have. And vice versa, if they have all of their cards in these little plastic containers, they probably don't want to take the time to take out each one and slide it into little cases.
Yes. That's it for our gift list. You're ready to shop for any Magic the Gathering fan, from the casual player to the hardcore collector. And hopefully this makes gift shopping a little bit easier and brings a smile to the MTG fan in your life.
Yeah. And again, I would say if you have any questions, either put them in the comments and we'll try to respond, or, like I've said, just go ask your local game store owners or talk to the person you're getting the gift for. That might be a little bit taboo to talk to the person you're giving the gift to, but better get them something that they are actually going to enjoy and use.
And if you loved this video, like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And if you love anything MTG, then this is definitely the channel that you'll definitely want to watch. And we have deck techs, we've got gameplay, lore, a little bit of everything.
Put in the comments if you ever received a great gift that, really made your Christmas special or really, made it memorable.
Well, happy holidays and good luck shopping. We'll see you on the next one.
See you in the next one.
Bye.